The massive crystal dome of Nexus Station glittered as thousands of ships moved through the docking lanes. Commander Eliza Ward stood at the viewport, watching the traffic with tired eyes. 37 years of diplomatic relations with the Galactic Council, and what did humanity have to show for it? Not much, in her opinion. "Commander, the ambassador is ready for you," said a young aide. Eliza nodded and straightened her navy blue uniform. Today would change everything. She felt the weight of the data chip in her pocket, evidence that would either save humanity's place in the galaxy or force them to take drastic action. Ambassador Gregory Collins waited in the preparation room. His silver hair and lined face showed the stress of the past month. "Do you have it?" he asked without greeting. Eliza handed him the chip. "Everything is here. 7 major civilizations formed an illegal coalition. They've been working together to drain Earth's resources while blocking our technological advancement. The numbers don't lie, sir." Gregory inserted the chip into his tablet and quickly scanned the information. His face grew darker with each swipe. "Those lying snakes," he whispered. "We've followed every rule, met every demand, and this is how they repay us." "The council meeting starts in 30 minutes, Eliza reminded him. Gregory nodded. "And Earth's leadership? Have they agreed to our recommendation?" "Yes. If the council dismisses our evidence, we implement Protocol Omega immediately." The Grand Council chamber could hold representatives from 500 different species. Today, all seats were full. News had spread that the humans had called for an emergency session and no one wanted to miss the drama. Councillor Vex Thor of the Araxian Dominion leaned back in his elevated seat, his scaled skin reflecting purple and blue in the chamber lights. Humans were so predictable with their complaints. Let them whine. His secret coalition had ensured humans would remain useful, but powerless in galactic affairs. Ambassador Collins stepped to the central podium. The chamber fell silent. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," he began, his voice strong and clear. "For nearly 4 decades, humanity has been a loyal member of this council. We have provided resources, military support, and diplomatic solutions to countless conflicts. We have upheld every treaty and honored every agreement." Vex Thor yawned, not bothering to hide his boredom. "However," Collins continued, "we have discovered disturbing evidence of systematic exploitation and treaty violations against Earth." He touched a control, and massive screens around the chamber displayed complex data charts and intercepted communications. These records prove that 7 council members, the Araxian Dominion, the Turaz Empire, the Vespian Alliance, and 4 others, formed an illegal coalition specifically to undermine human interests. They have stolen our technology, diverted our resources, and blocked our advancement while pretending to be our allies. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some representatives looked shocked, others uncomfortable. Vex Thor stood. "These are serious accusations, Ambassador, but all I see are numbers and partial communications that could be interpreted many ways. Perhaps this is simply a cultural misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding?" Eliza couldn't stay silent anymore. She stepped forward. "We have recordings of your private coalition meetings. We have financial trails showing how you've diverted human resources. We even have your personal communications, Councillor Vexathor, where you call humans useful tools to be exploited until no longer needed." The chamber erupted in noise. The High Chancellor, an ancient being named Kuvalek, banged his gavel for order. "These are troubling claims, but they require careful review by our legal committee. We will form a special investigation team and report back in 6 standard months." 6 months? Collins laughed without humor. "While you delay, our people continue to suffer." "No, High Chancellor. Earth requires immediate acknowledgement of these violations and reparations to begin within 1 standard week." "That is impossible," Vex Thor said smoothly. "These matters take time." Collins looked at Eliza and gave a small nod. The decision was made. "Then you leave us no choice," Eliza said, stepping to the podium. The chamber fell silent again. "By authority granted by Earth's unified government, I am hereby announcing humanity's complete withdrawal from the Galactic Council and all associated treaties, effective immediately. The silence broke into chaos. Representatives jumped to their feet shouting questions and objections. You cannot withdraw, Vexthor hissed. The penalties for breaking the membership treaty are severe. Check the fine print, Counselor, Eliza said with a cold smile. Section 147, paragraph 9 allows withdrawal without penalty in cases of proven systematic exploitation. We just provided that proof. You may choose to ignore it, but we won't. High Chancellor Kuvlek raised his hands for quiet. Commander Ward, Ambassador Collins, please reconsider. Humanity has been a valuable member of this council. Perhaps we can negotiate more favorable terms. For 37 years we've tried to negotiate, Collins replied. We're done talking. Eliza stepped forward again. The Earth delegation is departing Nexus Station within the hour. All human representatives throughout Council space have already received their recall orders. Human trade ships are returning to Earth space. Our military vessels are withdrawing from peacekeeping missions. This is madness, shouted a representative from the Turaz Empire. Without human ships protecting the Centauri trade routes, piracy will explode. That sounds like a council problem now, Eliza said. Not ours. As they turned to leave, Vexthor rushed down from his seat. You're making a terrible mistake, he said quietly. Humans need the council. You won't survive alone in this galaxy. Eliza looked at him with pity. And that, Counselor, is why you never truly understood us. Humanity has been preparing for this day since we joined the council. We hoped for true partnership, but we planned for betrayal. The Earth delegation walked out of the council chamber together, heads high. Behind them, the shouting grew louder. Admiral Frank Morrison waited for them at the docking bay, the Earth ship Determination ready for departure. It's done? He asked. Collins nodded grimly. It's done. Implement Protocol Omega. All Earth ships are already moving to predetermined positions, Frank confirmed. The Edge colonies began evacuation 6 hours ago. Defense systems are online. Secretary Hansen is addressing Earth's population right now, explaining the situation. As they boarded the ship, Eliza took one last look at Nexus Station. How long do you think it will take, she asked, for the galaxy to fall into chaos without us? Collins considered. The economic effects will begin within days, the military conflicts within weeks. By 6 months, they'll be begging us to return. And we'll return on our terms, Frank added. The Determination pulled away from Nexus Station, its engines glowing bright against the darkness of space. On the Council Station, emergency meetings were already being called as the news spread. Humanity had walked away from diplomacy, and nobody knew what would happen next. Back in the empty council chamber, Vexthor stood alone, his plans in ruins. Foolish humans, he muttered. They've signed their death warrant. But somewhere deep inside, a cold feeling of doubt began to grow. What if the humans knew something he didn't? What if they had been playing a longer game all along? As the first reports of problems began to flood in from across the galaxy, Vexthor realized with growing horror that the chaos was just beginning. Secretary Patricia Hansen stood in the command center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. Dozens of screens showed the movement of ships across the galaxy. Red dots represented human vessels, all moving with purpose toward Earth space. Green dots showed human colonies, some being evacuated, others being fortified. Protocol Exodus is proceeding as planned, reported General Kevin Winters. His uniform was crisp, but dark circles under his eyes revealed the strain of the past 72 hours. 93% of our citizens in council space are either home or en route. Patricia nodded. At 58, she had spent half her life preparing for this moment. And the defense systems? The outer ring is fully activated. The inner defenses will be online within 12 hours. She touched a screen, zooming in on the Edge colonies, the furthest human settlements from Earth. Status of New Montana colony? Governor Allen reports the last civilians boarded evacuation ships this morning. The automated defense systems are operational and camouflaged. From orbit, it will appear completely abandoned. Patricia allowed herself a small smile. Perfect. And Dr. Martinez's project? She's ready for your call, Kevin said, tapping a command. Into his tablet. The largest screen flickered and Dr. Olivia Martinez appeared. Behind her, a massive hangar held rows of sleek devices, each about the size of a small car. Secretary Hansen, Olivia greeted. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical ponytail, and her lab coat was wrinkled from days of continuous work. The Prometheus protocol is ready for deployment. My team has completed final testing on all units. Casualties? Patricia asked bluntly. None. The containment field works perfectly. In our tests, we've confirmed effective range of 2 light minutes, with no collateral damage beyond the targeted vessels. Patricia exchanged a look with Kevin. You're certain the Council has no knowledge of this technology? Absolutely certain, Olivia confirmed. We've maintained complete separation from all shared research initiatives. The theoretical papers were buried in unrelated agricultural studies. No one was looking for a breakthrough in this area. Begin deployment with Captain Rivera's fleet, Patricia ordered. Priority to the withdrawal corridors, and the outer colonies were evacuating. The screen split to show Captain Nathan Rivera on the bridge of the USS Defiant. His ship was Earth's most advanced battleship, though the Council believed it was merely a heavy cruiser with standard capabilities. Captain, you have your orders. Deploy the Prometheus devices according to Plan Delta. Nathan saluted. Yes, Secretary, the Defiant will coordinate with Dr. Martinez's team. First devices will be in position within 6 hours. Patricia ended the call and turned to face the room of officers and officials. Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake. What we're doing has never been attempted. No species has ever withdrawn from the Galactic Council after full integration. There will be consequences we haven't predicted. She walked to the central holographic display showing Earth and its colonies. But humanity will no longer be exploited. We gave diplomacy 37 years. Now we show the galaxy what happens when humans decide to walk away. Kevin cleared his throat. Ma'am, intelligence reports the Turaz Empire is already moving ships toward our evacuated territories in the Rigel sector. Let them come, Patricia said calmly. They'll find more than they bargained for. In the cold darkness of space near the abandoned human colony of New Montana, 5 Turaz warships dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Their sleek, predatory forms reflected the light of the nearby sun as they moved into orbit around the small agricultural world. On the bridge of the lead ship, Commander Hrakval studied the sensor readings. No energy signatures, no defense systems. The humans have truly abandoned this world. His second-in-command clicked his mandibles with pleasure. Their loss, our gain. The soil enrichment alone makes this planet worth 10 times its weight in rare minerals. Begin landing procedures, Hrakval ordered. Secure the human structures first, then fan out to catalog resources. The first transport shuttle had barely entered the atmosphere when alarms blared across the bridge. Hrakval spun toward the YI, tactical officer. Report. Energy surge from the planet's surface, multiple sources activating. Suddenly, automated defense turrets emerged from hidden positions across the colony. Before the Turaz ships could react, precision energy beams sliced through the transport's engines. The shuttle plummeted, managing a rough but survivable crash landing. Return fire, Hrakval shouted. Target those defense systems. The warships fired, but their weapons impacted invisible shields. More alarms sounded as small unmanned drones launched from concealed silos. What is this? The second-in-command whispered as the drones surrounded their ships. A communication channel opened, automatically. A human female voice clearly recorded spoke. Attention Turaz vessels. You have entered restricted human territory without authorization. Withdraw immediately or face defensive measures. Hrakval slammed his fist on the communication panel. This planet has been abandoned. You have no right to... His words cut off as the drones activated. Not firing weapons, but instead projecting energy fields that completely immobilized the Turaz ships. We can't move, the helmsman cried. Engines are unresponsive. A new voice came through the communication system, live this time. This is Captain Nathan Rivera of the Earth vessel Defiant. Your ships are now held in a Prometheus containment field. Your weapons and engines are disabled. A human ship appeared, seemingly out of nowhere. It was smaller than the Turaz warships but emanated power readings unlike anything Rockval had seen before. "Release us immediately," Rockval demanded. "This act violates Council law." "We're no longer bound by Council law," Rivera replied calmly. "You entered sovereign human territory and ignored warnings. Under Earth's independent defense protocols, we have authority to confiscate your vessels. You wouldn't dare. We would. However, as this is the first such incident, we'll show mercy. Your crew and ground forces will be allowed to board one vessel and return to Turaz space. The remaining ships are now Earth property." Rockval trembled with rage. "The Turaz Empire will not stand for this. We will return with our full battle fleet." "I suggest you scan the containment field before making threats," Rivera said. "Note its composition and capabilities. Then ask yourself, if humans invented this technology while under Council restrictions, what else might we have developed in secret?" The communication ended, leaving the Turaz commander staring at the readouts of the unprecedented energy field holding his ships immobile. It was impossible technology, something that shouldn't exist according to the understood laws of physics. In his command room on the distant Turaz homeworld, Grand Admiral Kravesh received the report of the incident with growing horror. "Send vessels to every former human territory," he ordered. "We must know what other surprises they've left behind." But it was already too late. Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out as opportunistic species discovered that humanity's withdrawal was not the easy victory they had anticipated. In her command center, Secretary Hansen watched the reports come in. "The first dominoes have fallen," she said quietly. "Now we wait for the cascade." Senator Howard Mitchell watched the holographic display with growing concern. Just 3 weeks after humanity's withdrawal from the Galactic Council, the situation was deteriorating faster than even their worst predictions. Another trade route has collapsed, reported Director Samantha Powell, head of Earth's intelligence network. Her voice was calm, but her eyes revealed her surprise at the speed of the galactic breakdown. "The Centauri Rigel shipping lane is completely shut down. Pirates hit 6 convoys in the last 2 days. Howard rubbed his temples. That route was protected by human peacekeeping ships for nearly 20 years. "And we were never thanked for it," Samantha reminded him. "The Council races took our protection for granted. Now they're learning what it costs to maintain their own security." The Emergency Response Center was located in a converted office building in Chicago. From here, Howard's committee tracked the fallout of humanity's diplomatic exit. The main screen showed a galaxy map with red areas spreading like infection across major trade routes and border regions. "The Vespian Alliance and Turaz Empire have begun open conflict," Samantha continued, pointing to a flashing section on the display. 3 border planets are reporting heavy fighting. The Vespians claim the Turaz violated their territory while searching for more human technologies. "And the resource shortages?" Howard asked. "Severe and growing worse. Earth supplied 40% of the Council's processed neodymium and 60% of its refined tritium. Prices have tripled in the past week. Some worlds that depend on these materials for energy production are facing blackouts." Howard sighed. It wasn't pleasant watching civilizations suffer, but humanity had warned them. For decades, Earth had been the responsible adult in the room, maintaining galactic stability while being exploited. "What about Captain Daniels and his stranded merchants?" Howard asked, changing the subject. Samantha tapped her tablet, bringing up a new display. "His fleet is currently held in the neutral trading hub of Proxima Station. The station administrator won't let them leave without paying new security fees that didn't exist when they docked." "A shakedown," Howard said flatly. "Exactly. And they're not the only ones. Humans across the galaxy are facing similar treatment. The Council races are taking out their frustrations on any humans they can find." Howard stood up and paced the room. "Send a message to Captain Daniels. Tell him to pay the fees but record everything. The Earth government will reimburse all costs. Our priority is getting our people home safely." He paused at the window looking out at the Chicago skyline. "And release the records." Samantha raised an eyebrow. All of them? All of them. Show the galaxy exactly what humanity has been doing all these years. How many conflicts we prevented, how many economies we quietly supported, how many times we stepped in when council races failed to meet their obligations. Samantha nodded and sent the command. Within minutes, data packets were streaming from Earth's secure servers to information networks across the galaxy. Decades of classified records now public for any species to see. On Proxima Station, Captain Eric Daniels faced the station administrator across a cluttered desk. The administrator, a bulky Gorvanian with mottled gray skin, seemed to take pleasure in humanity's new vulnerable position. "The fee has increased again," the Gorvanian said, his mouth stretching in what passed for a smile in his species. "Now it's 50,000 credits per ship." Eric kept his face neutral despite his anger. "That's double what you said yesterday." "My fleet can't afford that." "Then your ships stay here," the administrator said with a shrug. "Perhaps they will become station property after the docking debts accumulate." Eric was about to respond when his communication device chimed. He glanced at it, seeing a message from Earth. As he read, his expression changed from frustration to surprise, then to quiet satisfaction. "Something wrong, human?" the administrator asked. "Not at all," Eric replied calmly. "I've just received authorization to pay your fees. Earth will cover all costs." The Gorvanian looked disappointed that his harassment had failed to provoke the human. "But before I transfer the credits," Eric continued, "you might want to check the galactic news feeds." The administrator frowned but tapped his computer terminal. His eyes widened as he read the incoming reports and saw the flood of released human records. This can't be true," he muttered. "Every word is documented and verified," Eric said. "For 37 years, humanity didn't just participate in the galactic community. We were its foundation." The records showed the true extent of human involvement across the galaxy. Earth ships had quietly protected hundreds of trade routes. Human diplomats had prevented dozens of wars. Earth's banks had stabilized failing economies. Human engineers had fixed critical infrastructure on worlds that never knew who really helped them. "Your station," Eric said quietly, "was facing bankruptcy 11 years ago. Do you know who purchased your debt and restructured it on favorable terms?" The administrator's skin paled. "No, a human consortium operating through shell companies. Earth policy was to help without taking credit, to support without demanding recognition." Eric stood up. "We just wanted fair treatment in return. When we didn't get it, we walked away." Similar scenes played out across the galaxy as the records spread. Species that had looked down on humans suddenly realized how much they had depended on them. On the neutral planet of Carnaris, Grand Admiral Zikrath of the Vespian Alliance reviewed battle plans for the expanding conflict with the Turaz Empire. The withdrawal of human peacekeepers had created the perfect opportunity to settle old scores. "Our forces will strike these 3 Turaz colonies simultaneously," he told his commanders, pointing to targets on a holographic map. "With their forces spread thin searching for human technology, they cannot defend all sectors." A junior officer rushed into the war room clearly agitated. "Admiral, urgent news from the border." "Speak," Zikrath ordered. "The Turaz colony we attacked. It was protected by automated defense systems. Human systems, but more advanced than anything we've encountered. Our first wave was completely neutralized." The room fell silent. Zikrath's mandibles clicked in agitation. "Impossible. The humans withdrew their forces." "They withdrew their people, sir," the officer said. "But they left their technology behind, and according to the new records just released by Earth, they've been developing weapons in secret for decades. Weapons the Council never knew about." Zikrath studied the reports with growing alarm. Across the galaxy, the same realization was dawning on dozens of species. They had gravely underestimated humanity. Not just their technology, but their foresight and patience. As chaos spread and alliances crumbled, the galaxy began to understand what it meant when humanity walked away from diplomacy. The carefully maintained balance was collapsing and no one knew how to stop it. President Laura Summers stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed diplomatic outpost on Luna. Through the massive window, Earth hung in the blackness of space, beautiful and serene. 6 months had passed since humanity's withdrawal from the Galactic Council, and the galaxy was a very different place. "Madam President, they've arrived," announced her aide. Laura nodded. At 49, she was the youngest president in Earth's history, elected on a platform of galactic independence. Her dark hair was cut in a practical bob and her blue suit was simple but elegant. "Show them in." The delegation that entered represented 3 former council races: the Tellarites, the Baru Collective, and the Pax Federation. Once minor powers in the council, they had suffered greatly in the chaos following humanity's exit. "Welcome to Luna Outpost," Laura greeted them warmly. "I trust your journey was comfortable?" The Tellarite ambassador, a short furry being named Gorv, stepped forward. "Thank you for receiving us, Madam President. We come with a formal request from our governments." Laura gestured to the conference table. "Please sit. Let's discuss your proposal." As they settled in, Dr. William Bennett entered quietly and took a seat near the president. His specialized tablet contained Earth's revolutionary AI diplomatic system, one of humanity's most closely guarded secrets until now. "Our worlds are suffering," said the Baru representative, her translucent skin pulsing with anxiety. "Without human trade and protection, our economies have collapsed. The major council powers exploit us more than ever. We wish to formally withdraw from the Galactic Council," stated the Pax ambassador bluntly. "And we request Earth's protection and partnership in forming a new alliance." Laura maintained a neutral expression, though this was exactly what Earth had predicted. Dr. Bennett's AI had forecast this scenario with 93% accuracy 6 months ago. "Such an alliance would have serious implications," Laura said carefully. "The Council would view it as a direct challenge to their authority." "The Council's authority is already crumbling," Gorv replied. 3 more systems will announce their withdrawal next week. The Vespian-Turaz conflict has spread to 12 worlds. Resource shortages affect nearly 60% of Council space. Laura nodded to Dr. Bennett, who activated his tablet. A holographic display appeared above the table, showing a real-time map of the galaxy with conflict zones highlighted in red. "Our intelligence confirms your assessment," Laura said. "What specifically are you proposing?" "A new alliance. Equal partners. Fair trade. Mutual defense," the Baru representative said, her words coming in short bursts as was her species' way. "We bring resources. You bring technology. Protection." Laura leaned forward. "There would be conditions, non-negotiable ones. Earth will never again be in a position where we can be exploited." "We expected nothing less," the Pax ambassador replied. Meanwhile, in Earth orbit, Commander Ryan Jackson prepared his Special Forces team for deployment. Their black stealth ship was invisible to standard sensors, designed for covert operations in hostile territory. "Final mission briefing," Ryan announced to the 12 operators in the ship's ready room. "Our target is the Araxian Military Research Facility on Taurus 9. Intelligence suggests they've captured human technology from an abandoned outpost and are attempting to reverse engineer it." The team members checked their specialized equipment. Unlike the flashy energy weapons used by most galactic militaries, human special forces used simplified, reliable designs optimized for stealth and effectiveness. "Our mission is asset denial," Ryan continued. "We get in, destroy the stolen tech, and get out. No traces left behind." "What about the Araxian researchers?" asked one of his team. "Non-lethal approaches only," Ryan confirmed. "We're not at war with the Araxians, yet." The ship slipped quietly out of Earth space, one of dozens of similar missions currently underway to protect Earth's technological advantages. On the former Galactic Council headquarters at Nexus Station, High Chancellor Kuvlek faced a room full of angry representatives. 6 months of economic decline and spreading conflicts had taken their toll on the once mighty council. "Order! I demand order!" Kuvlek's amplified voice boomed across the chamber, but the shouting continued. "The Turas have seized our colony in the Bellis system," yelled the Vespian representative. "This is an act of war. Your ships fired first," the Turas delegate shot back. "You violated the neutral zone." From his seat, Councillor Vexthor of the Araxian Dominion watched with cold calculation. The chaos was regrettable but might work to his advantage. While other powers fought each other, his military prepared for a decisive move, a direct assault on Earth. "Esteemed colleagues," Vexthor finally spoke, his voice cutting through the noise. "This pointless bickering solves nothing. We all know the source of our problems: humanity's selfish withdrawal from galactic affairs." The chamber quieted somewhat as he continued. "For generations we managed this galaxy before humans ever achieved spaceflight. Are we now so dependent on them that we cannot function without their participation?" "Easy for you to say," muttered a representative from a smaller world. "Your empire hasn't lost 3 colony worlds to pirates." Vexthor ignored the interruption. "I propose a solution, a unified response to human abandonment of their responsibilities. If they will not rejoin the Council willingly, we must compel them." "You're suggesting military action against Earth?" High Chancellor Kuvlek asked, his ancient eyes narrowing. "That would violate our most fundamental principles." "I'm suggesting we restore order," Vexthor replied smoothly. "Earth's technology and resources are needed for galactic stability. They've proven they won't share willingly. Therefore, we must act for the greater good." The chamber erupted again, but this time with a different energy. Fear and anger were powerful motivators, and Vexthor knew how to use them. "The Araxian Dominion will lead this restoration mission," he announced. "Our fleet stands ready to secure Earth and its colonies. Who stands with us?" Hands and appendages rose across the chamber. "Not a majority, but enough." Vexthor smiled. Soon, humans would learn the price of defiance. Back on Luna, President Summers received the intelligence report with a grim expression. "They've taken the bait," she told her advisors. "Vexthor is mobilizing for an attack on Earth exactly as predicted." Secretary Patricia Hansen nodded. "The Prometheus defense grid is fully operational. All human ships are in position. We're ready." "And the new alliance?" asked Dr. Bennett. "The treaties will be signed tomorrow," Laura confirmed. 3 former Council worlds to start, with 7 more waiting to see the outcome. She looked out at Earth again, peaceful but prepared. "It's time for the final phase of our strategy, Operation New Dawn," Patricia said quietly. Laura nodded. "When Vexthor attacks, the galaxy will finally see what humanity is truly capable of." Admiral Eliza Ward watched as the massive Araxian fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Sol system. 173 warships, the largest attack force assembled in generations. Their formation was impressive, a 3-layered approach designed to overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer numbers. "They're right on schedule," Eliza noted calmly. In the 8 months since humanity's withdrawal from the Galactic Council, she had been promoted from commander to admiral, now leading Earth's combined diplomatic military force. Secretary Patricia Hansen nodded beside her. "Vexthor is nothing if not predictable." They stood in Earth's orbital command station, watching the tactical display with dozens of other officers. No one showed fear. They had prepared for this moment for decades. "All defense platforms report ready," announced General Kevin Winters. "Prometheus grid is powered up but in stealth mode. The Araxians don't see it yet." "Let them come a little closer," Eliza said. "I want Vexthor to feel confident." The Araxian ships moved steadily toward Earth, their weapons charging. The lead vessel was Vexthor's personal flagship, a massive dreadnought nearly 3 kilometers long. A communication request flashed on the command screen. "Put him through," Eliza ordered. Councillor Vexthor's scaled face appeared on the main display. He looked smug, his purple-blue scales gleaming under his ship's lights. "Admiral Ward," he greeted her. "I see you've been promoted. How fitting that you'll be remembered as the human who lost Earth." Eliza smiled slightly. "Councillor Vexthor, I was hoping we'd meet again." I represent the full authority of the Galactic Council, Vexthor announced. Earth's selfish withdrawal has caused unprecedented suffering across the galaxy. We are here to restore order and ensure human resources are properly shared. Interesting, Eliza replied. Because we have records of your private communications. You promised your allies that Earth's technology would be distributed among Council races. But your personal messages to your military commanders tell a different story. You plan to keep everything for the Araxian Dominion. Vexthor's confidence wavered briefly. Lies. Surrender now and spare your people unnecessary suffering. I have a counteroffer, Eliza said. Turn your fleet around, return to Council space, and acknowledge Earth's independence. In return, we'll consider limited trade agreements with non-aggressive species. Vexthor laughed. You're outnumbered and outgunned. The time for negotiations is over. I disagree, Eliza replied and cut the communication. Patricia stepped forward. He's committed now. His fleet has passed the outer marker. Eliza nodded. Activate the Prometheus protocol. Throughout the Sol system, hundreds of small devices suddenly powered up. Undetectable until activated, they had been positioned in a perfect grid pattern. Each device was roughly the size of a small car, but contained technology that had taken humanity decades to perfect. On the Araxian flagship, alarms blared as the devices appeared on their sensors. What are those? Vexthor demanded. Unknown technology, sir. His tactical officer replied, voice shaking. They're creating some kind of energy field. Destroy them, Vexthor ordered. The Araxian ships fired, but their weapons were absorbed by the energy fields with no effect. Then the Prometheus devices synchronized. A wave of energy spread between them, forming a vast network throughout the space around the Araxian fleet. Suddenly, every Araxian ship froze in place. Their engines still burned, but they couldn't move. Their weapons still charged, but couldn't fire. What is happening? Vexthor screamed. Back in Earth's command center, Eliza addressed the Araxian fleet. Counselor Vexthor, your ships are now held in a Prometheus containment field. This technology was developed by Earth scientists 20 years ago but kept secret from the Council. It allows us to selectively control which laws of physics apply within the field. The command center erupted in activity as Earth's defense fleet emerged from hidden positions. Not the small force the Council believed Earth possessed, but hundreds of advanced warships that had been constructed in secret shipyards throughout the solar system. For decades, we allowed the Council to believe we were technologically inferior, Eliza continued. We shared some advances, but kept the most important breakthroughs to ourselves. We hoped for genuine partnership but planned for betrayal. On screens across the galaxy, billions of beings watched the confrontation unfold. Earth had ensured that this moment would be broadcast everywhere. Your fleet is now disabled, Eliza informed Vexthor, but we will not destroy it. Unlike you, we don't solve problems through annihilation. Your ships and crews will be returned to Araxian space minus their weapon systems. You, however, will remain as our guest until certain matters are resolved. Before Vexthor could respond, a beam from Earth transported him directly to a secure facility on the lunar surface. 2 days later, representatives from 37 worlds gathered in the new diplomatic forum on the neutral planet of Terrafar. Former council members sat alongside independent worlds, all facing the same reality. The galactic order had changed forever. Ambassador Gregory Collins, called back from retirement, addressed the assembly. For 37 years, humanity tried to be a good partner in the Galactic Council. For 37 years, we were exploited and undermined. We gave fair warning. We provided evidence of treaty violations. We requested justice. When none came, we walked away. He gestured to the screens showing the immobilized Araxian fleet. We didn't want conflict. We prepared for it. Now we offer a new path forward. Secretary Patricia Hansen stepped to the podium. Earth proposes the formation of a new galactic cooperative, not ruled by the strongest but governed by fair principles. Equal participation, mutual respect, true partnership, the assembly murmured as she continued. To demonstrate our commitment, Earth will share certain technologies that will help stabilize economies and protect trade routes, not as gifts but as part of mutual exchange agreements. On Earth, President Summers watched the proceedings via secure link. They're responding well, she noted to her advisors. How many do you think will join? Dr. Bennett's AI predicts 23 immediate members, with 12 more joining within a standard year, replied her chief of staff. And Vexthor? She asked. His conspiracy has been fully exposed. The data packets we released show his involvement in illegal activities across 16 systems. The Araxian government has already sent representatives to distance themselves from his actions. On Terrafar, the first treaties of the new Galactic Cooperative were being signed. Ambassador Collins watched with satisfaction. As he looked around the room at the diverse species now working together, he reflected on how far they had come. Admiral Eliza Ward joined him by the window overlooking the planet's beautiful landscape. Did you ever imagine it would work so well? She asked quietly. I hoped, Gregory replied. But I wasn't certain. Walking away from diplomacy was the biggest gamble in human history. Sometimes you have to be willing to walk away to show what you're truly worth, Eliza said. Humanity didn't want to leave the galactic community. We just refused to be exploited any longer. And now? Gregory asked. Eliza smiled as she watched more representatives sign the new treaties. Now we build something better, together.